Yeah. Yeah, so I thought it said toilet, not to let, so yeah, the manager's not happy with me. Don't think I've got that job, but still. Yes, I'll be in the studio tomorrow, so I'll make sure I'm not late, because that's a big fear of mine. Yeah. Okay, right, I'll see you in the studio.
Finally, it's about time you showed up.
I know, right. Roll the titles. Hello and welcome to CCI TV, which once again is coming to you live from the Eldon building. And this is Face Your Fears. I'm Tom Matthews.
I'm Nicole and
And I'm Maddison Young. Coming up in this week's show, we'll be exploring the subject of fear and finding out exactly what happens to us when we're scared.
Yes, we'll also be facing our own personal fears as well as learning the difference between a fear and a phobia.
And we'll be talking to Kurtis Bell, a very brave individual who actively seeks out scary, adrenaline-fueled experiences to explore different perspectives of fear. So stay tuned with us for the next half an hour and hopefully you won't be disappointed.
Now, to kick off the show, we thought we'd begin with a little true or false quiz involving our wonderful studio audience. So, Tom, Nicole, if you want to go and get ready, we will play true or false.
Okay, so just before we start, we're going to be asking our audience members a few questions to test their knowledge of fears and phobias.
That's right. Audience, you'll need to hold up either a true or false card in response to our questions.
So the green represents true and then the red obviously represents false.
Right, so with that all being said, let's start with the first question, which is the most popular phobia, social phobia, affects only 3% of the world's population. Is that true or false? Green or red?
So if you could hold up...
Holden, do you think it's green?
Oh, there's a bit of a mixture, isn't there?
I think it's false, I'd say, is the average, did we say?
Maybe.
Well,
so.
it is in fact true. So if you hold up a green card, that is correct.
Okay, so the next one is around 1 in 5 people have a fear of spiders. Is that true or false? Oh, okay, there's a lot of true.
That's mainly true.
In fact, to all of your surprise, it is false. It's more than 1 in 10.
Oh, it's a big word. The hypothalamus triggers specific phobias. Is that true or false? Big words. The hypothalamus triggers specific phobias. True or false? Yeah, I don't know what it means either. Right, that is in fact false. It is the amygdala.
Okay, so among the top fears in the UK, emetophobia is the fear of vomiting. It can be found on the list of one of the most popular phobias. Is this true or false? The fear of vomiting.
Got true, we got some false. Oh,
mostly,
this side's very
you know
true.
what, mostly it's true. In fact, guys, you are correct. It's true, other than the one person.
Right, in the UK, almost 10 million people suffer from a specific phobia. True or false? A specific phobia. 10 million people in the UK. True or false?
I wonder what this one might be.
A bit false, but true. Well, it is in fact true. So if you're holding up a green card, congratulations to that.
I'm out of facts, Tom. So
oh, I'm going to have to go for it again. Right, fainting is a common symptom in all phobias. Fainting is a common symptom in all phobias. True or false? Do all symptoms lead to fainting? That is in fact false.
Yeah.
Fainting normally occurs in needle and blood phobias. So there we go. If you didn't know that,
some of those facts were unusual, weren't they? I mean, I thought some of them would be true and some of them were false. But anyway, moving on. It's time to discuss the science behind fear. So first, what is the difference between a fear and a phobia?
No idea.
So a fear is an emotional response to a real or perceived imminent threat, whereas phobias are a form of anxiety and are categorised by intense and irrational fears of an object or situation that pose no real threats.
Fear is a chain reaction in the brain that begins with a stressful stimulus and ends with the release of chemicals that cause an increased heart rate, quicker breathing and energise muscles.
Yeah, but what does that mean to us in plain English?
Well, you see, there are more than 100 billion nerve cells in our brains that communicate and cause us to act in certain ways. So, basically, everything we sense, think and do. Some of these communications lead to automatic responses, and fear is one of them.
OK, so what happens to us in the brain to make us feel scared?
So, well, there are 5 key parts of the brain that can cause the fear response. So it's quite wordy, but the first is the thalamus, which is the main part of the brain that sends messages through our senses. Then there's the sensory cortex, which interprets the data from our senses. The third one would be the hippocampus, which surrounds the thalamus, which stores information and memories. Next, there's the amygdala, that's it, which decodes the emotion and determines the possible threats. And finally, there's the hypothalamus, which is the gland inside the thalamus, which activates the fight or flight response. And essentially, that's what makes us feel scared.
That's some pretty big words. I found that slightly easier to understand than what I did. But anyway, I think it's now time for us to talk about our own personal fears. Now, Nicole, I believe you're slightly scared of snakes.
Oh, yes, that's right. I mean, I really can't stand them, but aren't you afraid of heights, Tom?
A little. Yeah, we'll gloss over that. Maddison, what's your fear?
I think I would have to say I'm scared of the unknown, as silly as that may sound.
OK, well, it's because of this that our production team decided that us 3 should all face our own personal fears throughout the course of the show. So, coming up now is what happened when I was told I was going to face my fear of heights. I'm going up that. 3, 2, 1. OK, so it turns out the location that I've been sent to is Southampton's Woodmill Activity Centre. And to face my fear of heights, I'm going up that. Hello, Connor. Nice to meet you. Now, how high is that?
Well, the pole's about 20 foot high. The actual jump's only about 6 to 7 foot.
Right. I'm going to die.
These ropes here are super strong and they could probably lift up like twice the weight of a minibus.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
OK.
Pretty sure you don't weigh twice the weight of a minibus. At least one.
I think that's what I'm most scared of currently, is getting on there. And then the thing after that,
The most terrifying thing is getting off it. OK. No. But we'll do it anyway.
Man, I'll get the whole way up. I'm bugging it! Alright.
Christ. Oh my god, this is not funny.
Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god, this is the stupidest. Oh, it wobbles! Oh no. No. Ah. Oh my. Okay. Right. 5. 4. Oh, you're pulling me, you 3. 2.7. 2. I'm going to close my eyes. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! And on that note, back to the studio.
Well, it looks like you had fun there, Tom. However, I'm pretty sure there's some footage missing at the end of that clip where you had to come back down.
I have absolutely no idea what you're on about. No idea.
Well, unlucky for you, as I've just been told that we've got the clip, so let's play the video.
Sod that. That is horrifying. I don't like that at all.
See, wasn't that fun?
Yeah, I don't think fun's the right word to use. I think terrified is a bit more suitable. Although I can't stress that despite being scared out of my mind, I can't hide the fact that the amount of pride and accomplishment I did feel afterwards was immense. However, I don't think I'll be climbing again anytime soon.
Oh, well, it looks like you handled facing your fear pretty well. Certainly better than I did. But that's coming up a little bit later in the second part of that film. But now I think it's time for us to head up to Maddison in the CCI studio to take a look at some of the world's most common fears.
Thanks, guys. So let's talk through the top 10 phobias in the world, some of which might just surprise you. First up, we have mysophobia, also known as germophobia or bacteriophobia, which is the fear of germs. Unlike those who just prefer to keep clean and tidy, mysophobes are much more concerned by the contamination and sterilisation. Because of all this, they often fall sick due to excessive exposure to bleach and other strong chemicals. On the subject of germs, next we have trypanophobia, which is an extreme fear of medical procedures involving injections or needles. This phobia is commonly referred to as needle phobia and also includes a potential fear of infections after an operation. Moving on to number 8, we have astrophobia. Although it has many names, including brontophobia and tonitrophobia, it's simply the fear of storms, in particular thunder and lightning. Now, this next one might shock you. With nearly 75% of sufferers being female, it might just prove that dogs are a man's best friend. That's right, unbelievably, the seventh most common fear is actually dogs, also known as cynophobia. What's more surprising is that the majority of sufferers are also known to be afraid of cats. This phobia is normally the result of a negative childhood experience, although in some cases it can develop during adulthood. Coming in at number 6 is one we all expected to appear on the list. It was only this year that it overtook spiders as the world's biggest animal fear. It is ophidiophobia, the fear of snakes. It affects nearly 1/3 of the adult population worldwide and is thought to be rooted in evolution, as a fear of venomous snakes is actually essential for our survival. That's all from me for now. I'll be back later on with the top 5. Back to Nicole and Tom in the hub.
Thanks for that, Maddison. Interesting to see that the fear of snakes was in there, because I know that's one of your biggest fears, Nicole. Although I didn't know it was called ophidiophobia.
That's right. Although the fear of snakes is a lot easier to pronounce than ophidiophobia. However, I think I've been putting it off long enough, as it's now time to see how I got on when facing my fear. I'm still not happy with our production team for making me do this. Trust me, if you don't like snakes, you may want to sit this one out. Agitated. I'm not doing it. So here I am, just outside Brighton. I'm here to meet Boris the snake. If you don't know already, I'm absolutely petrified of snakes, so being in the same room as one is going to be awful, but I guess I need to overcome my fear. The fear of snakes, ophidiophobia, is one of the most common phobias worldwide. Approximately 1/3 of all adult humans are ophidiophobic, which suggests that humans have an innate evolutionary fear of snakes. Oh no, what colour is that? I can't. Oh, is it white? Is it white? I don't think I can. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm getting really hot. I didn't know it was that colour. That's the worst colour. That's the colour I had a nightmare of last night. Oh no, I'm actually going to be sick. I don't want to look at it. Can it break the tag? I can't feel my legs. My legs feel like jelly. Oh no, it's staring at me. It's staring at me. It's going to get me. I can't. Oh my god, it's going to make me cry. Oh my god, I can't do it. I actually can't do it. Can I sit here? I'm so scared. No. Oh my god, no, I need to get out. Oh, I need like a few seconds to breathe. I'm petrified. It's so big. It's bigger than I thought it would be. How do you have that as a pet? It's the eyes. The eyes are like it's ready to, and it's all curled up, like it's ready to just come and get me. I just feel like it's gonna like wrap around me. It's making me itch. Like I'm getting, like when I sit there, I feel like there's visions of it like wrapping around me, and I like not being able to like escape it. I don't know, it's like almost like a suffocating feeling. Hi. Hello. I think that's enough. I'm on the same table as the snake. Ah, it's tongue! You better not get your tongue out.
You know what? After watching that, it's not difficult to see that you seemed quite scared.
Oh, well, I was absolutely terrified of Boris the snake. I'm surprised I lasted that long near him.
It was interesting, actually, to see how you coped around being that by the snake. You seem to be talking a lot faster in the film than you do now.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, actually, because I thought that you seemed to be making quite a lot of jokes and laughing.
Yeah.
In yours?
I'm guessing it's probably because it's some form of like natural coping mechanism for us to almost hide the fact that we're both absolutely terrified of our fears.
It's unusual that just randomly happens like that and comes on, isn't it?
Yeah. So where do you think your fear of snakes comes from?
Do you know what? I'm not sure. It's always been there. When I've seen snakes on TV or in films, I've always been the one that's had to look away. I almost passed out when I saw one in the zoo when I was like 10 years old.
Did you get that same feeling whilst filming
awful. I just lose everything. But what about you?
I just feel like I'm going to fall off. It's just not a nice feeling being high up. I just
don't like it. Uneasy feeling, isn't it?
Nope.
So, you've heard about both of our fears and watched us face them. But now let's head back over to Maddison now in the CCI studio to conclude our list of the world's most common fears.
Welcome back, as now we'll be revealing the top 5 most common fears. At number 5, we have insects. Sorry, not you spiders. Although arachnophobia is one of the most commonly known phobias, it didn't even make the top 10. Much like a fear of snakes, the fear of spiders is caused by evolution, as often spiders can be poisonous. Although arachnophobes can take this to extremes and avoid spiders at all costs. The fear of insects, however, is called entomophobia, sometimes referred to as insectophobia. It's characterised by an excessive or unrealistic fear of one or more classes of insect. Although with names like killer bees, hickory horned devils and death's head hawk moths, can we blame them? A commonly known fear that did make the list is claustrophobia, the fear of small, cramped or enclosed spaces. Affecting 7% of the global population, it is often associated with compact activities such as caving and cave diving, as well as scenarios such as being buried alive or trapped in a confined space. Aerophobia, or a fear of flying, affects 8.5% of the world's population. This fear is less about the flying itself and more about the instability of the plane and the fear of crashing. So let's get out of here and head somewhere more stable. Well, it's more stable than a plane. At number 2, we have acrophobia, the fear of heights. A lot of acrophobes also suffer with vertigo, which is a feeling of unbalance caused in the inner ear. It can also be caused by problems in different parts of the brain. Well, with that said, let's find out what has made number 1. So, number 1, it might not be what you're expecting, but it is the most common fear to have. It's agoraphobia, the fear of open or crowded spaces. Now, you might not know much about this fear, but these phobics tend not to get out much. Agoraphobes will actively avoid open or crowded spaces, as they give them a similar feeling to that of claustrophobia. In very excessive cases, agoraphobes won't even leave their homes. Well, that's all from me here in the CCI studio. I don't know about you guys, but I think I'll stay up here for now. It's a bit too crowded downstairs at the moment.
Thanks for that, Maddison. However, I don't think you'll be escaping your fear that easily. Now, so far, we've learned how our brains make us feel scared. We've learned that I can jump off a pole that's quite high up. Nicole finds a snake called Boris terrifying. And we've also found out what the most common fears in the world are.
Yes, and now it's time to look at a fear from a different perspective and discover what makes feeling scared so appealing to thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies alike.
Can't believe that there are people out there who actually want to be scared, but there are plenty of them and plenty of activities for them to do. So, what gives them that rush and what adrenaline are they after?
In fact, we've recently sent Maddison to Southampton Water Activity Centre to do some powerboating and experience firsthand what it's like doing an adrenaline-filled activity. Let's see how she got on.
I'm so excited. I'm a bit worried about the 40 mile per hour part, but I've got all the gear and not quite any idea. So I'm back from powerboating, and my goodness, was that an adrenaline rush. I had such a good time, my heart was racing, and thanks to Jack, I even got to drive the boat. I got up to around 40 knots, so I was pretty shaken up. But I was promised I wasn't going to get wet, but this little bit I think I can forgive. So thanks to Jack, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants an adrenaline rush.
Can't lie, I am a bit jealous that Maddison got to do that, but I disagree. And staying on the topic of adrenaline, we're now joined by a very special guest who is the type of person that would probably find powerboating a bit tame. So please give us a warm welcome to Kurtis Bell. Thanks for joining us today, mate. So, for those who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm part of a crew called the Lazy Generation, which is a stunt crew that has been making homemade competitions and the like since 2003.
And that's usually that's online then?
Yeah, we started posting it, in 2011 we started posting things online, so you can find it on YouTube and Instagram and all the social media platforms.
So what gave you that, well, you know, what gave you the kick to do that?
Originally, it was just a group of 12, 13-year-old boys who stumbled across a horses field with loads of props like ladders, trees, fences, cones and so on. And so we naturally started to smash things, jump off things, so you could jump off the highest thing, so you could smash things the best, and we wanted to film it.
Yeah, and you've done some pretty wacky things, haven't you? There was one where you drove a bike through a cupboard.
Yeah, escaping from Narnia, yeah.
You had a line mask on. How fast were you going down that hill?
I couldn't tell you. Too fast. But that was because of the lazy low-card games we play, where we...
That's what your channel's about, yeah.
Yeah, so we each get a card, or we think of like an outrageous forfeit, each get a card, and we turn them over one by one, and whoever gets the lowest one has to do the forfeit, like no matter what.
It's pretty wacky. Would you consider yourself to be an adrenaline junkie? Because most of these things are most likely fears that people would not want to do.
Yeah, I mean... I guess so. I mean, junkie's a bit of a... But, well, I've been doing it for so long, so I guess
it's just something you get a bit of a kick out. And do you get
a
rush
then? Yeah, for sure. Like you said earlier, when you earlier in the show, when you beat your fear, you had the feeling you described as immense. Like, for conquering your fear. Because it's like you're not competing against anybody else when you beat a fear. Like, directly head on, face something that you do not want to do and come out the other side.
You get that rush.
You do get it, yeah.
Are there any fears that you have, do you reckon?
Probably not any conventional fears, like
nothing like snakes or heights?
No, nothing like that. I'm probably more scared to not text my mum back quick enough, really. Things like that are more what actually bother me. I was going to say, if
you were saying that you were scared of a mouse or something and you do all these wacky stunts, it would have been a bit underwhelming. But your mates, do you reckon they've got any fears?
My brother has a fear of heights, a little bit. He gets all trembly and stuff when we're doing something up high. Another one of the boys fears small spaces. Yeah. So we've obviously...
So it's there. Have these ever, like, stopped your friends from doing any of these particular stunts that you do?
No, not in recent times. Since the lazy low-card thing, we all kind of have an agreement that if we get the low-card...
And that started back in 2003?
Well, we started filming
Yeah.
in 2003. The lazy low card we brought in later to sort of fit,
So as the
better fit
show's
YouTube.
got on, you guys have kind of gotten over these, not fears maybe, that you've kind of like grown to, not love, but you're just trying to accept
be part
that
of us.
that's
Yeah,
how
it's
it
kind
is.
of like an extreme sport in a way, I guess. Same as people love BMXing, skiing, snowboarding and stuff.
It just
like
gives
that.
you that kind of
you know, you
fulfillment.
could get hurt, but it's part of
It's
it.
nothing that crazy.
No, yeah.
Well, it's been great having you on here.
Thank you
today.
for having me.
Will you be doing more stuff like this in the future?
Yeah, we're still finishing the second series of Lazy Low Card now. So that'll be on YouTube through the year. And then we're going to put together a few 20-minute episodes or something, a bit longer content.
Nice.
And then that will be sort of the package of the brand that's been going for a while. And
Wicked.
we'll go from there, see where it
Look
goes.
forward to seeing that. Well, thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for joining us on
Well,
the show
thank you.
today, Kurtis. And for viewers at home, if you would like to see more of Kurtis's crazy work, then you can watch all his videos at www.youtube.com/TheLazyGenerationUK. But now it's time for Maddison to finally face her fear as we play a game of What's in the Box?
Tom and I have both faced our fears on the show today, so it's time now for Maddison to do the same.
I can't believe you're making me do this.
So,
Here we go, we're going to reveal what's in here. Right, I believe you're scared of the unknown, Maddison.
Yeah.
So we've got a little challenge here. We've got 3 boxes. Now, we should stress that Maddison has no idea what is in these boxes, and she's going to be putting her hand in the box, facing the fear of the unknown.
Why did I tell you this?
Yeah, so you're going to have to tell us what you think is inside each of the boxes.
How long do I have to keep my hand in?
As long as you reckon
reasonable,
you can.
reasonable amount of time.
Right, so
Okay.
should we get going? Should we go into box number 1?
The quicker the better. Okay.
Let's go to box number 1 then.
Okay.
Right, what do we think? Oh,
Oh, I can't see it, so this is... Oh, no. I'm really nervous. Okay.
you're not allowed to peek.
Oh, no. I'm
What can you
scared.
feel? What kind of sensation are you getting?
I'm not touching anything at the moment. It's currently
Oh.
just air. Oh my God. What is that?
So for the viewers at home, you can see what
Oh, okay.
she's...
Okay, it's quite solid. It's quite solid.
What do you think it is?
Oh, it's moist. What's that? Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I'm getting it.
I think she's getting it. I think
Okay.
she knows.
Okay, I think I've got it in my hand. I think I know.
Right, do you want to take a guess?
Is it noodles, spaghetti, something food-like?
Yes, that
You'd be
is
correct.
in
That
fact-
is correct. Right,
Right, next box.
box number
Okay.
2.
What's this one?
Okay, that was big. That's really big. Okay. Okay, I don't like that. It's not as moist as the last one. I really don't like it. Okay. If it was... Oh my God, it feels really furry.
Is it?
Okay, you
The
guys.
cat is asleep, right?
What do you think it is?
Okay. Oh, okay, I'm touching it too.
Right, we're going to have to speed you up a little bit, Maddison.
What is it?
What do you think it is?
Oh my God,
Did it move?
If you want to take a look, it's just
you
some
want to look at what
broccoli.
it is?
Right, you got
final
one more
box.
box.
Quick,
You got
quick,
one more
quick,
box. You're doing
no, no.
great.
Okay.
Fear of the unknown.
You made me jump.
Right,
really
it's
moist.
nothing alive. Honestly, you can...
Oh, okay, I really don't like that.
Yeah, okay.
Is it cream?
It's not cream.
No.
I believe it's... Is it tofu?
Tofu.
It's some
That is
tofu.
actually tofu.
Oh, wow.
So,
There we go. You've done it. You've done it. There we go.
well done, Maddison, for facing your fear and taking on the unknown.
Yes.
And I think on that note, it's time for us to end today's show.
Yes, and a big thank you to our guests, Kurtis Bell, Woodmill Outdoor and Southampton Water Activity Centre.
Yeah, don't forget Boris the Snake. You've got to find Boris the Snake. Yes, CCI TV will be back next Friday, where Team Yellow will be back with another music show. But until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Are you a star?